Chinese trains in Europe does not have the greatest reputation, often found to be cheap and unreliable with strange design choices. So today we're checking out the newest attempt to enter the European market, the CRRC Sirius, operating for the Czech train company RegioJet. But the introduction has been far from smooth, with lots of delays, issues and even being abandoned for some time. So join me for a journey in the train's airline-style business class seats, while we dive into the history of why these trains are not in RegioJet's iconic yellow livery, and why you probably won't ever be able to try out these trains for yourself. Our journey begins at Kolin railway station, located just 40 minutes east of Prague. Kolin is home to about 33,000 people and is mostly an industrial town, especially known for the large Toyota Motors manufacturing plant located in the town. The station is also an important junction located on the Prague to Brno and Austria corridor, where many of the Czech Republic's most important trains pass through. So why don't we head inside and check out the station building? Inside the station building you will find plenty of facilities, such as a ticket office for national railway operator České dráhy, and also a small one for RegioJet, who we'll be traveling with today. Inside the station you will also find a small convenience store, as well as some seating and a few cafes. There's also some nice artwork throughout the station, but my favorite thing is this large poster of all the railway lines in the Czech Republic. Here you can see Kolin station and the route we'll be traveling on up towards Usti nad Labem. And speaking of the trains, why don't we head out to the platforms, where we can see some of the very varied traffic that serve this station. The station sees pretty much every variation of train you can imagine, everything from small one-car diesel units like this one, medium-sized commuter and regional trains, large cross-country freight trains, even a few international long-distance services call here, such as this Eurocity train bound for Warsaw. But of course, we're not here to catch any of those, so let's instead head down the underpass and to the furthest possible platform, where we will find our train. And here we have it, the CRRC Sirius multiple unit. Built in 2019 at the Suzhou Locomotive Factory, these 160 km/h multiple units by CRRC were originally ordered by RegioJet competitor Leo Express, which is why the train is not in RegioJet's distinctive yellow livery. But how these trains ended up with RegioJet instead of Leo Express will be explained after we get on board. Today I'm traveling in RegioJet business class, which is located towards the front of the train, and as you can see, this is actually very similar to airline-style business class seats. I've picked seat number 14 for today's journey. And as the door to the cab was left open before departure, I thought I'd give you guys a little peek into it. But back at my seat, it's now time for departure from rainy Kolin, a few minutes behind schedule at 11:17. Right after departure, our train immediately curves away from the main line towards Prague. And that seems like the best opportunity for me to show you the route map for the remainder of the journey. Train RJ1352 leaves from Kolin heading in a northwestern direction, avoiding Prague and mostly following the eastern bank of the Elbe River, making many local stops before terminating at Usti nad Labem. After a scheduled journey time of 2 hours and 10 minutes. The train covers a distance of 135 kilometers, giving it an average speed of 62 kilometers per hour. As the scenery and weather is about to get a lot better later in the journey, let's instead start by checking out the internals of the train. Starting with these airline-style business class seats in a staggered 1+1 layout. Next to you will find one large surface where you can store large items, have a drink, or just about anything, I guess. You will also find 2 USB outlets and 1 power socket. Under the seat in front there's a large space for you to place your feet, and it can be adjusted like this, as well as a tray table. Of course the seat also features blinds, and a really annoying sticker on the window blocking your view. The seat itself is comfortable, with a good balance between ergonomics and soft padding. The seat also reclines, using the electronic buttons found in the armrest, which unfortunately are a bit easy to accidentally press. And here we have the seat in the fully upright position. Overall, I kinda like this concept on board trains with airline-style business class seats, but let me know what you think about them in the comments. RegioJet also offers a small menu of drinks and snacks on board, and in business class you have a choice of free juice, water and coffee. And if you want to order something, you can either just place your order with the attendant when they come through the train, or you can order in the RegioJet app, which is one of the better apps for train companies I've seen in Europe, where it's easy to buy your tickets, get live journey information, locate your seat, or purchase refreshments. And as we are now speeding towards Usti and Labem, I think it's about time we talk about the strange history with these trains and how they ended up here at RegioJet. The trains were initially ordered by Leo Express, another private Czech train company, in 2016. 3 units were ordered with an option to order 30 more, and the original plan was for these trains to start operating in 2018. However, following numerous delays in delivery by CRRC and their failure to receive certification to operate with passengers on Czech rails by 2022, Leo Express had enough and cancelled the order outright, leaving the 3 half-finished trains without a purpose. CRRC, keen to get these trains into service, partnered up with RegioJet, and in 2024 they received a temporary permit to operate commercial test services with them for 4 months on the Kolin to Usti and Labem route. And if you're wondering how this test period went, I'll talk more about it at the end of the video, but for now, let's go and explore the rest of the train. Starting up here in the business class, we'll head down towards economy class. It's found in an expected 2+2 layout. I actually quite like the atmosphere about these trains. They feel quite open, and they remind me quite a bit of some Stadler flirts used on intercity routes. And the train pretty much has every amenity you'd expect from a modern long-distance trains. There's a PIM toilet, as well as low-floor boarding, a wheelchair-accessible area, clear passenger information screens, large overhead racks that offer easy luggage storage, and even here in economy class the seats are pretty comfortable. You get a nice big tray table, a small storage pocket, and the table is very sturdy. The seating layout is very varied, and there's even these couch-like seats. I think this is a pretty great idea for when you're traveling with a partner or something like that. There's also a space for free literature. And next to it, you will find 4 spaces for bikes. But this is also where you will find the worst idea about these trains. The tip-up, half-standing, half-seating seats. Honestly, I'm not sure what they were thinking CRRC and Leo Express when they designed this. The legroom is horrible, it's impossible to get into a proper comfortable position, and it's just bad overall. I mean, yeah, you get a tray table, but I would rather stand than this, it's more comfortable. And before I head back to my seat, let's take a look at the toilet. It's nothing special, with a simple locking mechanism. It's looking clean, and it's working fine, stocked with toilet paper and everything. You'll also find a urinal, and a pretty tiny sink. But unlike on other trains with small sinks, this one actually seemed big enough to not splash everywhere. So, I'd say this is pretty okay. So as I head back towards my seat in business class, I have to say I actually quite like the train's interior. With the exception of the weird tip-up stand seats, the seats across all classes are comfortable, all the amenities you'd expect are there, and the couch-like seats are a great idea. The train is also equipped with free Wi-Fi that was pretty fast. And while the ride quality isn't quite up to the levels of something from Stadler or Siemens, it's pretty good. It was a lot better than some of the previous Chinese trains I've tried, and definitely better than Talgo. But perhaps they are a bit louder than what I would expect for such a new electric train. Overall, I think this is a perfectly acceptable train that I'd be more than happy to travel with for the journeys across the Czech Republic. But unfortunately, most likely that won't be possible. It actually turned out that the day I filmed this was the last day of the 4-month test period with RegioJet, and since then these trains have not been run in revenue service. Not much public information is available about what will happen to them next. While the interior of the train seems fine, it's likely there are lots of underlying issues with the construction and reliability of the train that makes it unattractive for operators. Combined with it being such a small fleet of just 3 existing trains, it's hard to see who'd be willing to purchase these trains should CRRC actually manage to get them permanently certified for passenger operations. And here, as we pass by the Masaryk locks, just south of Usti nad Labem, it's definitely clear that this train has some technical issues. Just listen to it. And as our train approaches its final destination, it's time to talk about tickets. I purchased my ticket roughly an hour before departure in the app, and I paid 11 euros for a seat up here in business class, which I thought was pretty good value. Prices can be a bit cheaper if you book well in advance, but generally even on the day RegioJet is pretty cheap. And here, as we cross over the river into Usti nad Labem Zapad station, I want to know your thoughts about these trains. Is this something you'd be willing to travel on? Let me know in the comments down below. Due to some last minute track works, our train has to terminate unexpectedly here at Usti nad Labem Zapad station, where we arrive a few minutes behind schedule. Normally the train would reverse at this station and carry on to the main station instead. Thank you so much for joining me on this trip. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as I try to upload a new one every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Twitter at IntercitySimon. I usually post live from my travels over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.